Hello, and thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. I'm going to be doing the Capricorn energy reading. As always, take what resonates, leave what does not, especially since this is a general reading. So we're going to start with animal oracle cards. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, the links are down below. So we have what's coming in for you. We have overcome any obstacles. So we have Rhino Spirit. I love this. I think the rhino looks so cute with all of the flowers all around it. But it says overcoming any obstacles. So I feel that if there's an obstacle that you feel that there's a roadblock, and you know what? I feel like it's kind of like you're looking at it as, okay, this is testing me. This is saying, okay, how much do I want to move forward? How much do I want to get past this? How much do I want to change my mindset? So that I don't feel that when challenges come before me, that I feel that it's something that is holding me back. I feel that it's something that is helping me to grow and to move forward. So I feel like with this energy that wants to come in for you, it's like you overcome an obstacle, whatever that obstacle may represent for you, but it's empowering you, and you're seeing that challenge as something that is making you stronger. We also have Stag Spirit taking the lead. So that definitely helps in overcoming an obstacle, is when you take the lead, right? That when you have a challenge and you feel that, okay, I can take the lead on this, that I can control this, I can do this, I can get past this. And I feel like there's a lot of strength coming in for you, but I feel that it has to do a lot with your mindset, is you're finally realizing, okay, it's time for me to take the lead in this situation, and you're feeling strong and you're feeling powerful. And I love it. Let's see, our next card out is nothing is wasted. So I feel like it's looking at this opportunity as not, again, not something that's holding you back, but is something that is helping you to grow, that is helping you to become stronger. So I feel like let's get some tarot here. I love it. It feels powerful. Like the word powerful just came to mind. And looking at this challenge, when you look at challenges in a whole different light, it empowers you. So let's see what else we got. Okay. I feel like there might be some disagreements going on. I feel like there's some self-doubt. I feel like there's tension around you, and I feel like the tension is, so this is coming out right below the overcoming any obstacle. So I feel your obstacle is this Five of Wands here, right? And I feel that this, maybe you're arguing with people, I feel that the reason why you're maybe butting heads with someone is because there's something that's going on within you that is bothering you, but you haven't expressed how you feel about it, or you haven't really said, you haven't asked those questions. Why do I feel so irritated? Why do I feel that I'm lashing out on people? Definitely that's something that can happen, is that when we have things that are going on internally inside of us, that we start to show it on the outside, and we start having a shorter fuse, we start having disagreements with people, we start, like, everything just aggravates and irritates. So I feel that that's a clue for you, right? This Five of Wands is saying, okay, if you think about it and you're like, why am I arguing with people? Why am I feeling irritated with people? Why do I have such a short fuse? And it's because you're trying to overcome something, and I just feel like you're holding something in. So let's grab the next card. And then we have working on taking the lead. We have the Three of Pentacles. So working on, again, like I was saying before, take the lead in the situation and say, okay, I'm starting to argue with people. I'm starting to be irritated with people. I feel like I'm getting in disagreements with people. So how can I take the lead in this situation, and how can I turn this around? What is it that's going on within myself? What is it that I need to let go of? What is it that I feel like there's something that you want to talk about. I feel like there's something that you want to get off your chest for some reason. And then I feel like these two cards, we have the Four of Swords, and then we have the Two of Cups, and that one is below the nothing is wasted. So I feel like it's take that time out and work on, I feel like it has to do with the relationship that you have around you, obviously, since the Two of Cups has come out. And I always get like kind of twofold when I have like the Two of Cups or the Lovers. I feel that it can represent a relationship that you have with someone. It could be a friend, family member, partner. It could be a work relationship. So it's like kind of take that time to really think about things and to work on things and see this as an opportunity to create that to be a stronger one. But I also feel like that those cards also represent that feeling that you have within yourself and working on yourself and saying, I love myself enough to say that I don't want to be in this Five of Wands energy, that I want to overcome this obstacle that I feel that is in front of me, and to not see this as something to hold me back. One of the big things I feel that has helped in my personal growth is seeing these challenges that come before me and saying, this is a test to see how I'm going to handle this. Is this going to push me back into the negative, or is this going to be something that is going to elevate me and push me forward? How am I going to get through this, right? But it's like me taking the lead with the Stag Spirit. It's like me taking the lead and saying, okay, what's the best way for me to work through this situation and get past this situation and to handle this? And I feel like it's, again, having that love for yourself and saying, I don't want to be in this Five of Wands energy. I don't want to feel like this situation is controlling me. I want to take the lead and I want to control this situation. I feel that it's time for you to step up to the plate. And I feel like it's time for you to feel like you're in control, and for you to see that with this Vulture Spirit, that this is not an opportunity that is wasted. This is a golden opportunity for you to grow and to show yourself how strong you are. Let's grab a couple more cards here. I love it. We have the World card, and I feel like it's representing building your world, like creating your world, creating your environment. Creating this new world that you want, creating this new environment that you want. Because I feel that when people come to tarot readings, I feel like they're looking for advice, they're looking for answers, they're looking for suggestions, they're looking for information, they're looking at, what should I do, or like kind of getting that help. At least that's what I did when I was looking at the tarot. And I was like kind of looking for that motivation. I was looking for those positive messages. I was looking for some of that guidance. We also have the Queen of Cups that has come out, and I feel like it's just the way that she's looking down. I feel like it's, look at those emotions and feelings that you have within inside of yourself, and don't brush them up. I feel like you need to validate them. I feel like you need to feel that your emotions, your thoughts, your perspective is important. And if you don't feel that it's important enough to express it and to let it go, then no one else is going to feel that it's important, right? So you have to do that for yourself first. You have to say, okay, it's important for me to express my feelings, to release your feelings. I also feel like the Queen of Cups represents that you can be very emotional right now, right? That because, right, you're trying to overcome an obstacle, and that's what I was saying here, is that maybe you're feeling agitated or irritated, or you're feeling overly emotional. And definitely that's something that happens with me, is that when I get really tired and I feel overwhelmed, that I am overly emotional. I think I was saying in another reading that I had done is that I was watching a TV program and I was like crying. And I'm like, okay, you're just tired today, so you're just going to be reacting to things today. And that's okay. It's okay. Don't ignore those. Those are something that I feel like you need to release, and you need to let go and look within with that Queen of Cups and say, it's okay for me to feel this way. It's okay for me to express my emotions. It's okay for me to express my feelings. It's okay for me to put that out there, right? It's okay, because that's what creates stronger relationships, not only with yourself, but with other people. Like you're feeling like being vulnerable is definitely something that is scary, because you're like, well, I don't know how this person is going to take it, and are they going to throw it back in my face? But not seeing it as something that you are giving to somebody else, but saying this is what you need to do within yourself, is to express these emotions and express these feelings, because you don't want to keep it all bottled up inside, because keeping it bottled up inside is eventually it's going to explode. Eventually it's going to come out, and I feel like it's already starting to come out. And it's realizing, okay, these emotions and feelings are already starting to come out, so I need to do something about it. I need to take the lead with that stag spirit, and I need to do something about it. And I need to acknowledge it. I need to look at it. I need to feel it, and I need to release it and let it go and go through that process. However that is for you, that represents for you. As I've said many times before, maybe it's writing it down. Maybe it's creating that personal video for yourself. Maybe it's talking with that trusted friend. Maybe it's, just going for a walk or going to the gym, or however it is that you need to release it and let it go. But to work through it. It feels so much better not carrying around all that baggage. Trust me. I mean, I carried around so much baggage. And it was affecting my sleep, and I was always anxious. And, I'm not saying that I'm perfect now, but definitely things are a lot better. I would say 90% better. So it's like not carrying that baggage around. It's like, oh, why do I want to carry that around? Getting too old for that. All right, we have grief, accepting loss. So this may have something to do, again, with this Queen of Cups, with this, right? That I feel that because this just came out for you, it's accepting it and processing it and working through it and acknowledging it, and not letting the loss, whatever that may represent for you, not letting the loss control you, but that you're controlling the loss, that you're recognizing it, and you're seeing that this is something that you need to work through, that this is something that you need to let go of. And I felt another one here. I love it. It's rebirth, giving yourself a second chance, right? So it's like you have to do this. This is almost like the Death card, and then this is almost like the Fool card. So it's like endings and beginnings, right? That there are some things that need to end or have ended or are ending, but then that gives you that rebirth, that new beginning. Don't focus on what's ending and how something is over. Obviously process it and let it go. But look at, okay, well, what doors am I opening up? Well, what's coming in for me? I'm so excited for what's going to be happening for me. I'm so excited where this is going. I'm so excited to see what's going to come in. And saying, okay, like I'm giving myself that second chance. Even if it's something that you feel that maybe you didn't do or you should have done, or you reacted to something. I feel that when we're trying to bring in new patterns, is that we have those times where we fall back into old patterns and old habits. And it's not getting upset with yourself like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I opened that door again and I let that person back in my life. I can't believe that I gave them another chance and I knew that I shouldn't have, but I did. But it's almost like that's the process of, I feel, learning and letting go, because the next time that person tries to come through, you're like, no, like I'm not doing that. I'm not falling for that. I'm not going back into that situation. Like I'm not doing that again. Or if it's like, if you're trying to get your finances on track and you're like, obviously like when you purchase things, you have that temporary, that temporary feeling of excitement, and then you feel guilty. But then the next time comes around and you're like, you know what, I'm not going to spend money on that. I'm not going to do that because I know that's going to give me a temporary happiness, but then it's going to turn into negativity again. And like, I'm going to have to deal with that on the other side. And do I really need to be making those purchases? And do I really need to be doing those things? And what can I do to help myself, to love myself enough and say, like, stop and wait and think about it. And how can I help myself in this situation? And even though it, or it could just be like, I'm trying to eat better. And I was out this morning and I was like, I wanted to stop at Dunkin' Donuts and go get a bagel sandwich and go get some donuts. well, that's not eating better. So I'm like, no, like I really, like I can, like it's the battle that goes on within my head. And it's like, no, like I know I'm trying to fall back into old habits. And it's like, no, you're not going to do that. Like you're going to go home. Number one, you're going to save money. And number two, you're going to find something healthy at home because you just went to the grocery store yesterday and picked up some stuff. So it's just like, but I can tell that it's the old me trying to, you know, say, oh yeah, like you can have it, like go ahead, get it, you deserve it, you know, like it's saying all of these things, but I'm realizing like no, that's not my new world that I want to create, right? That you're going to have these times where you're going to have these challenges, and it's okay to give yourself a second chance, right? Or a third chance, or however many chances there are, and say, I want to do better for myself, and show yourself, like I've said many times before, is it's not only those words that you're saying, but those actions that you're proving to yourself that you want to do better, and to take the lead with that stag spirit and say, what's really the best for me, you know, because we always kind of have that back and forth between ourselves of, you know, what we would like to do and what we should do. But it's more rewarding. Like I feel really good and really proud about myself that I didn't do that, and I'm really proud of myself, and I'm like, okay. And the more that you start to get into those patterns where you're moving away from your old patterns and you're creating new ones, then those become your new norm. We have sleep. I feel like it's definitely getting some rest and some sleep and taking a break and thinking about things. And definitely when we are tired, we're not really able to process things or work through things to our best advantage, because we're kind of just like making decisions and we're feeling weaker. So I feel like for some reason it's saying to maybe rest or get some sleep or give yourself a break or take some time out. Sometimes it's like we have to step away from situations just to kind of think of things and to just kind of process. Because when you get overstimulated, then you have so many things in your head, you're like, then you become overwhelmed, and then it's like you just don't want to do anything. And so it's like take that time to kind of refocus and re-energize. So I feel for some of you that sleep is just like taking time to relax and process things and work through things. Definitely when you feel like you're well rested, and definitely for me too is like when I eat better, that I feel I definitely have more energy and I feel more motivated and I feel mentally in a better place. Like that's just what works for me. And so it's like, it's not worth it. That temporary, you know, that 10 minutes or 15 minutes of eating that bagel sandwich and having some donuts, then it affects the whole rest of my day and possibly the next day because of all of the sugars and all the carbs and all of that. So it's like, it's just not worth it. And I definitely feel I was testing myself. So we have chop wood, which I like this one, which that means get to work and make things happen. And I feel that that goes with the 3 of Pentacles, is working on things, right? These things, you know, it would be really easy just to snap our fingers and have things happen. And these changes that you're going through and that you're realizing and taking the lead in a situation is work. And it's kind of like constant work until it becomes the norm. And I feel that it's so worth it. But you have to be in the place where you feel like, yeah, it is worth the work. We have observer. So kind of, I feel observer goes with the sleep and the 4 of Swords. And I just feel like it's, again, kind of taking that step back, kind of looking around, taking things slower, thinking about your choices and your decisions, thinking about why do I feel that I'm in this 5 of Wands energy, and what is this obstacle that I have to overcome, and why do I feel this way? Asking yourself those questions instead of just accepting. And I do feel that it goes in a good way, like when you're feeling positive and you're feeling motivated, and think about, wow, like what made me feel happy that day? What made me feel motivated? What made me feel so good that day? What were those things that I did, right? What were those things that I was doing that day or in that time or in that moment that made me feel really good? And to repeat those patterns, right? So it's not only looking at the negative I feel, but it's also looking at the positive and saying, okay, I really felt good that day. Why did I feel that good that day? Right? What was I doing? What was I saying? Who was I talking to? Or like, what was I eating? And what made me feel good that day? And just, I feel like it's figuring out that too. It's not always about the negative, but it's like observing, okay, on the good days, what's going on for me on the good days. All right, so let's grab a psychic tarot. We have movement, choices, and decisions. Perfect. So this is the Two of Pentacles. So movement, choices, and decisions. Kind of thinking about that movement and where do you want to go, and those choices and those decisions, and what do you want to have happen, and where do you want to go with it. You're always making, there's always movement around you and choices and decisions that you're making. Always throughout the day. Like, and I feel like that's a big thing that I realized, is that like you're always making those choices and decisions. And maybe it's thinking, you know, taking that step back with that Four of Swords and kind of thinking about things before you move forward, and saying, is this the best decision for me? Just like this morning when I was driving around, is that really the best decision for me to stop and get that? No, it's not. So I'm taking that step back and saying, okay, that's not the best decision for me. And I feel like the same with you, taking the lead, feeling like you're in control of the situation. Because sometimes I feel like that the subconscious is just naturally just having us make choices without us really even thinking about the consequences, right? That we're just kind of doing things and making choices and decisions and not really thinking about, okay, this may feel good momentarily, but how is it going to affect the rest of my day? And just something to think about, right? It's all about perspective. And sometimes it just like that one thing makes sense and you're like, yeah, you know what? I got to think about that, right? I got to create that world that I want. I got to take the lead with that stag spirit, you know, that this is not an opportunity that is wasted. This is an opportunity to learn and to grow and to become stronger within myself. Loves it. Always learning. Always learning, right? I'm always open. I'm always learning. And when things happen, I'm like, okay, what's the best choice and decision for me now in this moment? And what do I need to do in this moment? All right. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you're still hanging in there with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.